Good morning, and thanks for joining us for the Cuyahoga County Division of Senior and Adult Services Advisory Board's second virtual annual meeting. I'm Armin Budish, your Cuyahoga County Executive. I decided to get into government service because of my passion to help older people and their families cope with the challenges of aging. In my past life, I was one of the country's first elder law attorneys. I wrote books to help seniors deal with Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and nursing homes. I created and hosted a weekly television program for seniors, Golden Opportunities, which aired on WKYC TV3. In Cuyahoga County, we're grappling with what many large metropolitan areas are experiencing: an aging population with hugely increasing needs, hunger, aging in place, affordable housing, accessible medical care, social isolation, transportation. These are just a few of the issues which we continue to work to address. Our Division of Senior and Adult Services, DSAS, works every day to empower seniors and adults with disabilities to age successfully by providing resources that preserve their independence. I applaud DSAS for their efforts in addressing these critical social determinants of health for our older friends and neighbors. We're in the midst of a terrible pandemic, and that makes our work for seniors even harder and more important. Our DSAS team has been expanding their efforts in a number of areas. They're responding to more reports of elder abuse than ever. They're providing more well visits, more medical and behavioral health assessments, and more cognitive testing for older adults who are at risk. They're expanding their independent living program to provide more in-home services and home-delivered meals. It's so important to help people to live safely at home. They're working with the county's Board of Health, the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging, and other community partners to help more people get vaccinated, including launching a homebound vaccination program, providing vaccination site transportation, and sharing vaccine information across their networks. Vaccinations save people's lives. They're providing over 500,000 meals to older adults and adults with disabilities in our community. They're helping older people get connected on the internet. You know, we can't always depend on our grandchildren to help. I'd like to welcome our special guests that are with us today. Our Cuyahoga County Senior and Adult Services Advisory Board members, particularly Board Chair Kathy Rush and Board Vice Chair Bill Hebel. We'll hear from both of them shortly. Our Division of Senior and Adult Services Administrator, Tracy Mason. Let me tell you, Tracy lives and breathes this stuff. She's almost as passionate as I am. Doug Tayak, Associate Director of Outreach and Advocacy for AARP here in Ohio. Doug's claim to fame was his appearance on my Golden Opportunities TV show. Ohio Senator Nikki Antonio. She's been a fierce advocate for seniors and others facing challenges. And our host, who's back with us again this year, Robin Swoboda. My claim to fame was my appearance on Robin's TV show. Robin, I've always admired you. I'd like to personally thank each of the presenters here today for taking time to share their expertise and for their unwavering commitment to addressing the needs of older adults and those with disabilities in our county. This distinguished panel of experts is going to share exciting news about our projects over the past year and our priorities for the coming year, including a new initiative we're launching in Cuyahoga County, the Livable Communities Initiative, which is being led by our friends at AARP. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your interest in the work of DSAS and their advisory board. And thank you for your commitment to the needs of older adults in Cuyahoga County.
Thank you, Executive Budish, for your warm welcome and remarks. And I have been a longtime admirer of you as well. And thank you for joining us for the Cuyahoga County Senior and Adult Services Advisory Board's 2021 virtual annual meeting. I'm Robin Swoboda, and I'm thrilled to be your host, socially distanced once again, to share the great things that the county is doing for us as we grow older. Our theme this year is a good one. It is From Surviving to Thriving. We will be talking about how the Division of Senior and Adult Services, affectionately known to us as DSAS, has emerged from the COVID-19 pandemic with a renewed vigor to help older adults and adults with disabilities throughout Cuyahoga County, help them to thrive. Our program today will run just over an hour, and it will include highlights of DSAS's work, how their programs and services have expanded, and how they are approaching 2022 with an exciting livable community initiative where leaders and experienced residents work to make our county the place of choice to live out our best years as we age. And we invite you to post your comments and questions in the chat box to the right. We will be sharing resources and contact information after the event so you can get connected. Again, welcome. It is an honor for me to be back for a second year. And I hope, besides learning a lot, I hope I get through this without my dogs barking or my hair falling off. If you, you may or may not know, but 2021 presented me with cancer once again. And so I just finished up I start radiation this month, but I just finished up chemotherapy, and boy, it's quite an exciting time with hands and feet that you can't feel and fake hair, but I think it looks okay. All right, now moving forward, the County Senior and Adult Services Advisory Board is comprised of 25 professionals who have worked or are working in the aging and disabilities realms. They are thought leaders in serving older adults and those with disabilities. They identify trends, funding, legislation, and programs that best support older adults and adults with disabilities here in our community. The board meets every other month at DSAS to collaborate on priorities and host this annual meeting to share its work with all of you. It is time now. I would like to introduce Board Chair Catherine Rush and Vice Chair Bill Hebel, who will give us an overview of the board and an update on their projects over the past year. Good morning, Kathy and Bill. Good to see you.
Good morning, Robin. How are you?
I am great. How about you?
I'm great. It's a little snowy today, but it's a great day, and I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're always excited to hear from you.
Well, thank you. And hi, Bill.
Good morning. Good morning, Robin. Great to see both of you.
Hello, Bill. What's cooking?
I'm trying to stay warm. I've foregone the traditional sport coat in lieu of the sweater, which was a very wise decision this morning. I'm feeling nice and toasty.
Well, you look nice and toasty. You're making me hungry. So bring us up to date. What's been going on?
All right. Well, I have a few highlights of board business, but I just first wanted to welcome everybody to our second annual virtual board meeting. As Robin said, I'm Catherine Rush, the outgoing chair of the board for the past 3 years, and we are excited to bring you a wealth of information and hope you enjoy the meeting. I just wanted to bring up that we have pictures of our board, and here is our current board. We, as Robin said, we are a board of 25 members from various agencies with particular strengths in serving the elder population as well as those with disabilities. They come from all over Cuyahoga County and some outside of Cuyahoga County, but serve within the county. And the role of the board is they're committed to moving forward the mission of DSAS. We meet bi-monthly as a board, and each member is also on a committee that meets on the off month of the board meeting. And finally, the role of the board is to advise the administrator and the county executive, advance the mission of DSAS, and be an advocate and voice for older adults and adults with disabilities in Cuyahoga County. My second point of business is I'd like to acknowledge our members who have reached their service limits of 6 years and are terming off. We have so enjoyed and been blessed with the information and knowledge of the 3 individuals that will be rolling off. Doug Beach, who is the CEO of Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging, Alan Bedingfield, who was with United Way of Greater Cleveland, and Susan Wong, who was with Asia Services. I want to personally thank each of you for being an active and engaged board member, and we wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Finally, my last bit of board business is I would like to talk about some of the highlights we've had for the past year. It's been a busy year, and we've had some really great things going on. The first one is a year ago, we hosted our first annual virtual board meeting. And obviously we're doing it again because it was such a success. We had over 600 YouTube views and just got great feedback. So we were very, very pleased with that. Our second highlight is we took some extra time this year as a board to beef up our mentoring program so that new board members felt engaged and supported as they take on their new role. It was near and dear to my heart. I'm very much into mentoring, and I think it's been a great success. Finally, we jointly hosted the first annual Aging Disability Summit this past fall with Metro and Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging. It was also very well attended virtually, and we had some tremendous feedback from the people that attended. So that was we had a great, very busy and active year. There's some other highlights, but I'm going to turn it over to Bill, who is our incoming chair. And Bill, why don't you take it from here, and I'll be quiet.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And thank you all so much for being with us this morning. We really do appreciate it. I do have some very big shoes to fill as the new chair, but thankfully Kathy was my mentor, so I feel very well prepared to assume the role. The Advocacy Committee with DSAS has been working diligently this year on a variety of issues that impact older adults and adults with disabilities. For example, we prioritized addressing food insecurity, advocating for the elderly and disabled simplified application to help keep older adults enrolled in SNAP benefits, formerly known as food stamps. It will extend certification for older adults from 2 years to 3 and eliminate a recertification interview every 6 months. We also joined other advocates across the state advocating against a bill with harmful measures that would have negatively impacted SNAP recipients, resulting in the bill not being passed. We also supported Esther's Law, which you'll hear more about from our special guest, Senator Antonio, later in this program. Signed by the governor on December 22nd, it allows a resident of a long-term facility to have electronic monitoring of their room to prevent neglect and abuse. Lastly, our advocacy efforts to increase the statewide adult protective services budget, including meeting with legislators and providing testimony, ended successfully in achieving the highest budget in its history and providing enough funding for a dedicated worker in each county. And as we all know, our APS workers are doing nothing short of saving lives in our community. So this is very, very big. Last year, our board also passed a resolution creating a position for an honorary DSAS advisory board member. Our board has really been blessed over the years to have such dedicated and caring professionals, and this new position honors their contributions to DSAS and its clients. This honorary position is a privilege and extended only to those that have shown exemplary dedication and support to DSAS. This position is available to an advisory board member that has served in a leadership role on the board, has made significant contributions to aging or persons with disabilities population, and has made a significant contribution to the board to advance its mission and vision. Clearly, this position is meant to honor the very best of the best. Therefore, it was with the greatest pleasure to have nominated our outgoing board chair, Kathy Rush, for this honor. Kathy was one of the founding members of DSAS. During her career, she has worked tirelessly to advocate for older adults and adults with disabilities and brought these efforts with her to the advisory board. During the onset of the pandemic, Kathy handmade masks for DSAS staff to ensure that staff members could safely continue their work with our clients. Kathy was also instrumental in creating the new mentoring program for our new board members, which has resulted in many of them already assuming leadership roles on the board. Kathy, as I said, also served as my mentor, which again is why I feel so prepared to assume the role of the board chair. Although, Kathy, please know I do have your number on speed dial, so we will likely be communicating frequently. When we approached our board members to vote on Kathy's nomination, each yes was not simply a yes vote. It was an emphatic yes, a true testament to the immeasurable accomplishments of Kathy's tenure with the board. So it is my great honor to present Kathy with her nomination to be named the very first DSAS honorary board member. And I can hear the applause in the background. I know we're virtual, but it's that loud and pronounced. So congratulations, Kathy.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I thank you so much for this honor. When I was asked back in 2014 to join the board, I was beyond thrilled because as Bill said, I'm actually one of the founding members of DSAS. Anybody who knows me knows I am extremely passionate about the older population and those with disabilities. In fact, my sister and I have adopted 12 seniors on a mission in Kentucky, and we go down there a few times every year to serve them in various ways. But I feel like so many times the older population and those with disabilities are the forgotten people. I see commercials on, No Child Left Behind, support the children for this and that. And I'm all about children, but I'm passionate about, no senior left behind, no person with disabilities left behind. We must take care of them. They are walking history books, and it is our responsibility and duty to support them and encourage them in any way we possibly can. But back in the early 90s, I was asked to be part of a strategic planning group to decide if the county needed an additional venue of some type for supporting the older population and persons with disabilities. This was guided by Marlene Stoiber, and I wish I could remember all the people that were on the strategic planning committee, but I was actually one of them that got to vote to say, yes, DSAS needed to be put in place. So, and then to become a board member, not to mention the chair, it was just beyond my wildest dreams. So I'm beyond words, Bill. I've been so inspired by the board. I plan to remain on I had already planned to remain on as a community-based services committee member, so that I could stay involved, because as I've told Bill and Maridel and others, I'm going to miss this. I have so enjoyed being part of this. So I just want to say thank you to the board. It's been a tremendous pleasure to be your chair. And I know that Bill will be a great chair, and Janet Keeler will be a great vice chair. And I especially want to take this opportunity to thank Tracy for just for being wonderful to work with, for the support, and hopefully I've been a support to you. But Tracy, it has been my honor to work with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
May I offer my congratulations to you, Kathy, and on all of your accomplishments, and especially want to thank you for your heart and your passion for our seniors and those with disabilities. So well done. And
thank you.
we will certainly miss your leadership, but glad to know that you're going to be around. And Bill, you mentioned you have big shoes to fill. I just hope that they're not heels. I hope that they're just maybe some sensible pumps. What do you think?
I anticipate stumbling, so maybe a set of heels would be a good way to do that. But
all right, we'll get you a red pair. We'll get
wonderful, Wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy and Bill, for that excellent overview of the advisory board and how you found 25 good-looking people to make up that board. My goodness, what a good-looking group, and again, with a heart and a passion for seniors, which we're all climbing to that point ourselves. Anyway, it is so impactful now to hear firsthand from the people involved in the work. Not only do we gain insight, but we can be inspired to take action. With this in mind, the board wanted to share with you a short video which highlights the work and perspectives of several of its members. Let's take a look.
Twenty 2021 was such a challenging year for all of us, but particularly for older adults and those with disabilities. The DSAS team was unwavering in its commitment to finding out what they needed and finding the right supports to help them through the social isolation and all the health disparities and challenges they faced. I am just so proud of the DSAS team and what they did for our community.
United Way and DSAS have a common interest: seniors. Both organizations work to address the needs of seniors in our community. United Way and DSAS are focused on helping seniors age gracefully in their homes. Like DSAS, United Way is working to provide nutritious meals, working to reduce loneliness and isolation.
Richmond Heights is really a unique community. 25% of our population are seniors, and we partner with Community Partnership on Aging, and they're able to offer programming and services for our seniors. DSAS and Cleveland Partnership on Aging help our older population by providing meals, transportation, and activities to help our seniors to go from surviving to thriving.
DSAS and United Way are addressing the social determinants of health for seniors, developing strategies to help them thrive in place. Poverty and the zip code a person lives within are tremendous determinants of the quality of life for seniors. DSAS is continually assessing program relevance, effectiveness, and ease of access, ensuring that seniors and adults' needs are being met.
As a community foundation, the Cleveland Foundation has had a long history of supporting older adults and those with disabilities. I am so proud to serve on a team that shares that commitment. DSAS is working to find the solutions for the basic needs for today, but they are also thinking long-term and finding out those innovative ways to support older adults and those with disabilities as they age successfully into the future.
For 2022, I am excited for our continuing work to help seniors age in place and reducing isolation. With an anticipated increase in funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, we hope to help seniors with home repairs, making them safer and habitable, providing robust access to high-speed internet and technology, and home-delivered meals to reduce isolation.
One of the projects that I'm really excited about for DSAS is the partnership with the AgeFriendly initiatives. I believe that this project that is part of a national collaborative is really going to support older adults and those with disabilities. It's going to forge connections between and among the generations, because honestly, what is best for older adults and those with disabilities are best for all of us.
In my new role as mayor, I'm pretty excited just to be on the advisory board at DSAS, just learning more about those programs and to find out how I can connect my constituents with those programs so the seniors can go from surviving to thriving.
So good to hear. So good to hear from Kathy, Alan, and Mayor Kim. Wonderful. They shared how they are helping shape DSAS. There are so many great people working together in our community to help us as we age. And you know, I was watching that with great attention. And the thing that jumped out to me was that DSAS had 94% of people said that DSAS has helped them live independently in their home. Yes. And we know how very important that is in giving people, you know, dignity and respect. So way to go, DSAS. Now at this time, I am so happy to introduce Tracy Mason, the administrator for the Division of Senior and Adult Services. Tracy is the hard work her team has been doing in conjunction with the advisory board to serve the county's older adults and those with disabilities. And this work is especially critical as we're navigating this pandemic, and trying to thrive again. Welcome, Tracy. Good to see your beautiful smiling face.
Thank you, Robin. We're so grateful to have you again this year. You bring so much joy to this event. I love your smile, love your new hair. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I love your smile and hair. I love you. So fill us in on what's happening. Everybody wants to know.
Absolutely. You know, I just want to say good morning to everyone and thank you for joining us. For the past 2 years, we have all been through quite a bit. And for DSAS, we are ready to change the narrative from surviving to thriving. I want to share some of our accomplishments and what you can expect from us in 2022. Cuyahoga County Division of Senior and Adult Services, our mission is to empower seniors and adults with disabilities to age successfully by providing resources and support that preserve their independence. As an aging population with increasing needs, older adults are expected to outnumber children for the first time in U.S. history. 1 in 7 seniors are threatened by hunger, and 3.6 million live in poverty. Researchers have found that loneliness is as lethal as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The pandemic has caused a rise in social isolation and loneliness. And for the first time, many of us experience this feeling and just simply crave to be with family and friends. Pre-COVID, according to AARP and the National Council on Aging, loneliness was already identified as a health crisis among older adults. Based on the aging population and the increase in needs of older adults and adults with disabilities, our strategic priorities are aligned with the social determinants of health, which impacts our ability to age in place. DSAS is focusing on food insecurity, behavioral health, housing, transportation, social connection, addressing social isolation and loneliness. We have served nearly 15,000 residents. 46% are white, 45% Black, as well as 68% were female and 32% male. 48% live in the city of Cleveland, while 52% reside in the suburbs. Lastly, within age, 48% are over the age of 75 years old. Within some of our programs, Senior and Adult Services is mandated by the state to administer the Adult Protective Services Program, where we investigate allegations of abuse, neglect, self-neglect, and exploitation. Throughout the pandemic, our staff continued to conduct in-person home visits. We also investigated more than 3,500 allegations, where 42% were self-neglect cases, where people are not able to care for their physical well-being. And the other 21% were exploitation cases. We have seen a steady increase year over year in financial exploitation among older adults. We also convened the APS Collaborative, which represent multiple disciplines to discuss challenging cases and improve case coordination among systems. As you can see, we have worked closely with the healthcare community, and they have developed plans to identify abuse and coordinate services with us, with our APS department. This year, we held an elder abuse awareness campaign to educate stakeholders on recognizing the signs of elder abuse. Our slogan was "See it, stop it, report it." We also conducted a Facebook Live event that focused on the benefit of geriatric assessments for APS clients, lessons learned with Cleveland Clinic. We've expanded our behavioral health program. Last year, we conducted more than 300 well visits, medical assessments, behavioral health assessments, and cognitive testing. Within clinical services, our home support team consists of nurses and home health aides. They continue to provide personal care and homemaking services to Ryan White, multiple sclerosis of society, and other critical care clients. We also partner with other aging organizations, the Board of Health, and Emergency Services to launch the Homebound Vaccination Program. More than 800 older adults were vaccinated. Our Options for Independent Living provides an array of services to allow residents to maintain their independence in their home as long as possible. Services include home-delivered meals, personal care, homemaking, emergency response, and chore services. Addressing food insecurity is one of our top priorities. This year, we implemented food insecurity screening to increase food access among residents. We modified community-based contracts, providing more than 140,000 meals. We enrolled more residents into our Options for Independent Living program to receive more than 300,000 home-delivered meals. We also partner with Western Reserve, Area Agency on Aging, Circle of Food program to provide 66,000 hot meals. We also provided 21,000 meals through assisting residents with completing the SNAP application to simply purchase additional groceries. I love this photo. It is a photo of our Rocky River Senior Center and our Fanoma Senior Center in the Huff neighborhood. Both centers are working diligently to reduce loneliness as well as social isolation. They promote healthy aging by giving residents access to resources to help them stay active and independent. These services are more vital than ever. I am thrilled that our community partners registered more than 5,000 residents to be vaccinated and provided transportation for 537 residents. We expanded our network of healthcare partners to provide guidance in response to COVID-19 to our aging network. The Board of Health, federally qualified healthcare centers, as well as the State of Ohio Rapid Response Program also joined our network. For the first time, we were able to connect senior centers to these critical partners to meet the state mandate for testing and simply provide medical guidance. We developed and disseminated reopening guidelines for many of our senior centers and partners. We've expanded our marketing campaign, as well as planned and executed the largest Northeast Ohio Aging and Disability Summit in partnership with Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging and Metro Health. Based on lessons learned from the pandemic, DSAS has broadened our scope of services through our community-based contracts. This redesign now includes on-site and virtual programming. Prior to the pandemic, we would have thought virtual programming was innovative. Now it is just a way we do business. Our home-delivered meals are being offered on a consistent basis for the first time ever. There are 2 new services that have added. We've expanded our community outreach efforts in hard-to-reach communities and populations. And with innovation programming, we are now partnering with 2 new organizations to provide digital literacy, educating and connecting residents to technology. In 2022, through our community-based contracts, we will be expanding adult development services on the west side, expanding meals to include home-delivered meals, which will include holidays and weekends throughout the county. We are expanding our outreach efforts in the Hispanic community and adding new partners, and also maintaining our partnership with Senior Transportation Connection. We're excited about these new enhancements in our community partnerships. Based on our customer satisfaction of clients who participate in our programs or attend a senior center, this is what they had to say about the work that we do. It is comforting to know there are agencies to protect our senior citizens. The caseworker who helped my mom was efficient, polite, and kept me informed. 79% of the respondents indicated that they will return to a senior center when they reopen. The Parma Heights Senior Center has been a godsend to me. I have many days where I will have not been able to eat without it. These heartfelt comments truly resonated with us at DSAS, and we wanted to share them with you. We firmly believe we must continue to build connections because, after all, we are stronger together. We are working to position Cuyahoga County to become identified as a livable county through AARP. These are communities that are safe and secure, has affordable and quality housing, transportation options, and offers community services as well as recreation so we can all age in place. Currently, Franklin County as well as Summit County are age-friendly communities. It is our top priority to make Cuyahoga County age-friendly.
I love that. I love that, Tracy. And I marvel at all the things that you've accomplished. And you mentioned, you're expanding services to weekends and holidays. I think you must work weekends and holidays 7 days a week from everything that's happening there. It's wonderful. And it's so important for our audience to understand that DSAS is expanding its role in our community in so many ways. You mentioned behavioral health, in-home care, community programming, and home meal delivery, just to name a few. And the idea, Tracy, of creating a new livable community is very interesting.
Yes, we're excited about it.
Yeah. You should be. We all should be. Because, we're all looking for a comfortable place to call home as we age. But what does that look like? That's a good question. AARP has the answer. Their Livable Communities Initiative. And before we hear from our keynote speaker, let's get a quick introduction, some would pronounce it, to this exciting concept that is growing across the country.
AARP is working to make communities more livable for people of all ages. But what is a livable community? In a livable community, people of all ages can find housing that is comfortable and affordable. It is also a community where residents can get where they want and need to go, regardless of whether they own a car. It's a place where people can spend time in parks and public spaces that are vibrant, safe, and healthy, so they can socialize with their friends and participate in fun activities. A livable community ensures access to needed shopping and healthcare services. It's a place where people can work or volunteer and be included in community events and decision-making. So, what is a livable community? It's one where everyone can make their city, town, or neighborhood a lifelong home.
Well, I love the idea that Cuyahoga County is a place that people can call their lifelong home. And now we're going to learn more about how communities throughout the country are doing just that. Our keynote speaker today is Doug Tayak, the Associate State Director for Outreach and Advocacy for AARP Ohio. His professional career has always had a community focus. Since 2011, he's represented Ohio's 1.5 million AARP members. In his current position with AARP Ohio, in this and previous roles, Doug has designed and managed initiatives to strengthen the community around him. Much of his work has been accomplished through the growth and development of community volunteers, managing teams of up to 165 volunteers. His impact has included connecting military veterans to improved healthcare resources, managing a statewide food drive for older adults, and most recently, working with Ohio's largest and Columbus to become age-friendly model communities. Good morning, Doug.
Oh, Robin, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you if you can come with me to my end of the year review at the end of 2023 or at the end of 2022. I'm not getting ahead of myself that far. Because I appreciate the really kind opening. That was more than I anticipated anybody saying about me. So thank you. And I'm going to need to call you in December and put you in the front of my boss. So
you got it. I'll be there.
Appreciate it. So thank you for the warm introduction. This is great. So I'm as excited as I am to do this. I want to make sure that I mention that not only am I an employee of AARP, but I'm also very proud to serve on the DSAS board of directors. And serve alongside Tracy and her team and all of my fellow board members. I just want to say that on behalf of AARP here in Ohio, we are excited that Executive Budish plans to enroll Cuyahoga County in the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities this year. And we are looking forward to working with him, with Tracy Mason and all of her staff, Meridell especially, to make that a success. And, we're really excited about that and great to see Cuyahoga County looking to join the network of age-friendly states and communities. I'm happy to be making this presentation and thankful for the opportunity. This presentation will focus on what the AARP network of age-friendly communities is, how the process of enrollment and initiation works, and what kind of outcomes residents of Cuyahoga County and anybody engaged can expect to see from an age-friendly Cuyahoga County initiative. As I share some of the work and opportunities that have come out of other age-friendly network initiatives here in Ohio and in other communities in the country. So next slide, please. So as the video mentioned that preceded my presentation, there are some core elements of what comprise an age-friendly livable community. These are what are called the 8 Domains of Livability. The World Health Organization, who developed the age-friendly concept, and I'll touch on that in a moment here, organized what they determined to be the core components of a livable community and did so by creating the 8 Domains of Livability, which you can see in the slide here. The 8 Domains are meant to serve as guidelines for the work that communities undertake to become a more livable and age-friendly community. The nice thing is there's some flexibility with the 8 Domains. They're not set in stone. Some communities have actually changed how they address each domain by either grouping them into smaller, more smaller, similar categories, or like our friends have done in Athens County, actually adding a 9th domain. In their case, Athens County added sustainability because they would like that to be a core focus of their age-friendly Athens County work. As you can see on the screen, the 8 Domains of Livability are outdoor spaces and buildings, transportation, housing, social participation, respect and social inclusion, work and civic engagement, communications and information, and community health services. One key finding that has permeated most of the work that's been done around age-friendly in Ohio is while all of the domains are vital to building a livable, more age-friendly community, housing and transportation sort of supersede them all because they touch all of the rest of the domains. And as an age-friendly Cuyahoga County initiative moves forward, those are two things to really be cognizant of, is that housing and transportation touch on everything. So those are the 8 domains, but the two that really stand out are those two. So next slide. So this age-friendly, as I mentioned, was started by the World Health Organization. And the concept was developed in 2006. At the beginning of the 21st century, the WHO began to recognize that the developed nations around the world were aging at a pace never before seen in human history, and that this rapid aging of these societies would present new challenges to the communities in these nations. So in 2006, they launched the Global Network of AgeFriendly Cities, with the goal of bringing these communities and these nations together to address the challenges that are presented by the rapid aging of their populations. In 2012, AARP became the World Health Organization's partner here in the United States and created and have been managing the AARP network of age-friendly communities at the time, now the age-friendly network of states and communities, as the WHO's affiliate in the United States. In 2012, Macon-Bibb, Georgia became the United States' first age-friendly community, but in that time, since Macon-Bibb joined in 2012, 605 other communities have enrolled in the age-friendly network, which now includes 10 whole states. So New York State, Florida, Michigan, and I know that team up north, sorry, they've beat us to it. Ohio is not yet an age-friendly state, but we're working on that. And Minnesota just recently became the nation's 10th age-friendly state. Currently in Ohio, there are 15 age-friendly communities. And as a point of pride here in Cuyahoga County, the city of Cleveland became Ohio's first age-friendly community, enrolling in the network in 2015. Columbus followed shortly after in 2015, and since that time, 13 more cities and 5 counties have joined the age-friendly network. And they've created a really strong internal network and have done some great work in all the communities here in Ohio. So next slide. In Ohio, when a community enrolls in the AARP network, they actually become a member of 2 networks, both the age-friendly national network run by AARP and also CAFCO, which is, you'll see here in a second, is an acronym for the Coalition of Age-Friendly Communities of Ohio. The AARP network is meant to connect all 606 communities across the country and does those through various opportunities, which include use of the AARP Age-Friendly portal, which allows for idea sharing and connection amongst all the communities. We will host a virtual conference again this year, and sometimes those have been in person in the past, which provide not only learnings and access to experts and thought leaders, but also an opportunity for communities to come together and to work out, issues and challenges and idea sharing amongst, communities of similar size or makeup or location. So it's really, the AARP network is really meant to foster collaboration between the age-friendly communities here in the United States. You also get access to AARP staff and support from both your state office, but also the national office, as well as resources all the resources that AARP has developed, and some resources that are developed just to support the communities in the age-friendly network. Here in Ohio, the Coalition of Age-Friendly Communities of Ohio is unique. It's a network that's formed specifically for Ohio's age-friendly communities. CAFCO meets quarterly. They share best practices. They foster mentoring between Ohio's age-friendly communities. And as of last year, they started to coordinate on research. Later this year, they'll be releasing some findings on what statewide age-friendly issues have developed, what trends are being seen across the 8 domains of livability here in Ohio. So they've become a very strong coalition. They also have been working to raise the voice of all 15 communities to people like the governor. This is a model that's been celebrated nationally and really has become one that's very effective in getting communities within our state to work together and to share best practices. Cuyahoga County, when it enrolls in the age-friendly network, will be an important component of CAFCO, just given the size, the scope, the level of engagement here in Cuyahoga County. I know that the folks in CAFCO are excited about the idea that Cuyahoga County will be enrolled in the network of age-friendly communities and hopefully be very active in CAFCO. In addition to the AARP network and CAFCO, communities have worked well together, just sort of on their own. And I know that with having Cleveland in Cuyahoga County, that will offer a tremendous opportunity for a strong legacy age-friendly community in Cleveland, with all the leadership and all it's accomplished, in its time so far as an age-friendly community, working together with Cuyahoga County, that will only just bolster age-friendly Cuyahoga County and make it a really strong collaboration that I'm looking forward to seeing the results from that. So next slide. So when a community enrolls, what they are in the AARP network, what they're really signing up for is a cycle of continuous improvement and engagement. And very briefly how it works. When the county executive is ready to enroll Cuyahoga County in the network of age-friendly communities, he will submit a letter and an application to our office. And once that letter and application have been formally accepted by our national office, the county will receive a certificate and stating that Cuyahoga County is an age-friendly community. So the goal is not to become an age-friendly community. The goal is you are an age-friendly community. Now it's time to enact the cycle. So that enrollment is then followed by a year-long community assessment where the folks who are leading age-friendly Cuyahoga County will be tasked with really engaging with the older adults in the county and those who may someday be older adults in the county to really find out what are the strengths, what are the areas of opportunity that are presented within Cuyahoga County to make it a more livable and age-friendly place. This is accomplished through, creating a community assessment, having community conversations, and really getting the older adults in the county to provide their feedback on the 8 domains and how they interact with each of those domains in their daily lives. This is important because once that data is all put together, it creates, it's then used to create the age-friendly plan, which is the second year of the cycle. And once that plan is in place, years 3, 4, and 5 are spent implementing that community plan. So it really is meant to, take the information and the feedback of older adults within the county, build a plan to address their concerns, their praise, to maximize the strengths, maybe work on and address the opportunities, and then take a look at, okay, now that we've implemented this plan, how did we do? And at the end of year 5, reassess, and hopefully then start again in year 6. So at the end of year 5, the county will reassess what older adults feel about its livability and begin the cycle again. And that's how this is meant to take shape and meant to move forward. It's supposed to be continuous and continually ask older adults and future older adults how they feel about the age friendliness of Cuyahoga County. Next slide. So I want to close the final portion of my presentation by sharing some of the innovative opportunities that have been developed both here in Ohio and with some of our partner communities across the country. Really, by sharing this, my hope is that this is what, this good work is what Cuyahoga County will aspire to, and really, I know will deliver on once the enrollment is official and the opportunity is underway. The WHO created their age-friendly checklist, which is a self-assessment tool for cities to use in order to map their progress on becoming more age-friendly. And the checklist really consists of components of each domain of livability. The City of Cleveland's planning department, under the former director, Freddie Collier, actually took the age-friendly checklist and incorporated that into planning applications for the city, so that any new construction, any community development in the City of Cleveland now has to incorporate the age-friendly checklist, meaning that every new development, every new opportunity has a component of age-friendly to it. It's a major step for the city, and it's a great example of where this can be built into policy and into the workings of government to make a community more age-friendly. So on top of that, the City of Cleveland, also as part of AgeFriendly Cleveland, instituted their falls prevention program through the leadership of Fairhill Partners. And they did this by piloting a program with EMTs in the city who were trained to conduct in-home fall assessments for older adults. And this was done during EMT calls for a fall in the home that was not life-threatening. And what would take place is that the EMT would then talk with the older adult after assessing them and helping them to really take a look at their home and say, okay, here's some of the things you can change to maybe prevent, another fall in your home. This was done in recognition of the fact that at the time, and I'm fairly certain this is still true, a fall in the home was the second leading cause of death for Cleveland residents over the age of 65. So by taking that time, it actually helps, lower, maybe those emergency calls that are based on the volume of emergency calls for falls in the home, and also keep residents safer. Our partners and neighbors to the south in Columbus have really done some very innovative work and have been celebrated at a national level for, among other things, launching their Age-Friendly Innovation Center through the Ohio State College of Social Work, which actually manages Age-Friendly Columbus and Franklin County. They created their Age-Friendly Innovation Center, which is designed to foster new opportunities for research and intergenerational engagement by bringing together graduate and undergraduate students from Ohio State School of Social Work, together with older adults from the city of Columbus and from across Franklin County, and having them work together to collaborate on research, on community engagement, on partnerships, and really giving the age-friendly initiatives and work that strong intergenerational lens, but doing so with with younger adults who are focused on working in aging as their career. The first class of age-friendly scholars started in the fall of 2021 and are completing their first year, obviously right now. So we're curious to see how that goes, but it's a really innovative approach, and it's a great way to foster research and opportunities on an intergenerational path using the resources of a major research university. The other opportunity that I want to highlight from Columbus was the creation of what they call Lift Villages. If you're not familiar with the village movement, it's a way of bringing older adults together in a community and having a very strong sort of interpersonal connection, and they share resources, they share tasks, and there's a number. Village in the Heights is a great opportunity and a great example of that being done well in Northeast Ohio. Columbus has 11 villages within Franklin County, and what they did was they worked with Lyft to create a rideshare program through the villages, where if a village member needed a ride somewhere, they could contact Lyft, and Lyft would work with the staff from that village to cover the cost of that ride, so that the older adult didn't need to pay for that ride, and they would go anywhere. And then also the village staff would coordinate things with the Lyft driver, like providing information on how to take care of a personal mobility device, or even help the resident carry groceries into their residence, depending on if they were in a house or an apartment or what. So it's a really innovative approach to addressing mobility issues. Like I said, housing and transportation are big issues. And so Columbus really took a very innovative approach with that. And the ARP office was part of helping with Lyft Villages, but really that was spearheaded by Columbus. And then our partners in New York City, who've actually helped guide the work in Columbus and also a little bit in Cleveland, had an innovative approach to addressing the need for artists who need studio space, but then also bringing arts programming to older adults in assisted living communities, senior high rises, and senior centers across the 53 council wards of New York City. And that is by the senior centers, the assisted living centers started to create artist in residence programs. In a city like New York, where there's artists everywhere, studio space is at a premium. And so they were trading studio space with artists for in-person arts focused programming for their residents. And so it sort of fulfilled both those needs. The residents were getting the programming that they wanted and finding a way to stay sharp, stay creative. And the artists were able to do that, but then, to teach those courses, but then also have studio space, which they were looking for to do their personal artwork. There's a great example of this in Cleveland Heights with Judson Park, who has worked with the Cleveland Music School settlement to have a musician in residence who lives at Judson Park, is a student at the music school settlement, and also teaches and delivers some music related programming for the residents at Judson Park. So this is a great example of that the county can pull from and may want to look at in conducting work in developing age-friendly Cuyahoga County. And finally, the final one I want to touch on is in Colorado Springs, Colorado. They've been really successful in developing an age-friendly business model. This initiative is something that the city of Cleveland was also working on right up to the point of the pandemic, and the pandemic really put a hold on this. This is something that Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland could work on together, given the businesses that are shared in those two communities, in the city of Cleveland and across Cuyahoga County. And the goal being, in Colorado Springs, what they did was they recognized businesses who took the steps to fulfill the obligations of an age-friendly business as understood by AgeFriendly Colorado and Colorado Springs. And so when those businesses did that, they were then certified as age-friendly. They were given additional recognition, additional promotion across various platforms. And in some cases, even had benches put out front of their business, recognizing them as an age-friendly business. So this is something that both Cuyahoga County and the city of Cleveland could share in the future, if it's something that Cuyahoga County would want to prioritize, and something that the city of Cleveland would want to bring back once they've been able to manage the pandemic. So those are just some of the examples of work that you can of outcomes that have come from age-friendly initiatives across the country and here in Ohio. There's obviously an infinite number of examples, if you will, given just the scope of age-friendly communities, both here in the United States and around the country. But I wanted to share those. Next slide, please. you can access any of the resources that ARP offers through our arp.org/livable communities webpage, which you have the URL there for. You can also see any of the work that's being done in Ohio that ARP Ohio is a part of by checking out our website, arp.org/Ohio. And then also the ARP Public Policy Institute has created what's called the Livability Index. And basically it provides a livability score for any community in the country from the street level, from your neighborhood through the county, through the state. And they do so by looking at 6 criteria that speak very closely to the 8 domains of livability. Now, I will give you a bit of caution. When you look at it, you may disagree with some of the assessment that's there. Some of the data isn't as complete as I think our PPI Institute would like, but it is still the most comprehensive view of the livability of communities across the United States at a county level, city level, depending on what you're looking at. So that you can see that URL here. If you have any questions, my contact information is included here. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to answer your questions about age-friendly initiatives and look forward to supporting age-friendly Cuyahoga County, and excited that my home county is going to be enrolled and officially an ARP, a member of the ARP network. So thank you very much for giving me the time for this. It's been great to speak with all of you, and I look forward to your questions in the chat.
All right, Doug, that was wonderful. Great introduction to livable communities. And, it's so good to see how tapping into our more experienced friends and neighbors can enhance our community and make it a place to thrive as we grow older. Isn't it, Doug?
It is. It's a great thing. And the nice thing is, I think sort of the fulfilling thing for me is to see those communities that started out needing mentors to now becoming mentors, right? As the communities have matured, and a lot of the communities in Ohio have reached that 2, 3, 4 year stage, they're now becoming mentors for those new communities. And so, Cleveland and Columbus already had to cut their teeth for everybody, but now they're well positioned to be great mentors for Cuyahoga County if they enroll. In fact, Columbus is working through Ohio State University's College of Social Work, and they actually launched a age-friendly incubator, if you will, really to look at, to put the research and the power of Ohio State behind looking at how communities can become more age-friendly and looking at their 5-year initiatives to see what worked, what didn't. There's a lot of great work that's come from the 15 communities that are already enrolled to support that next wave. And so it'll be great to see Cuyahoga County both enroll, but then in 2 to 3 years' time, really be that mentor for other communities as well. And I know that that's in the best tradition of this county. So thank you for having me and for letting me talk about it.
Oh, sure. And thank you too for the resources that you shared. So, I happen to have 3 weeks, so I'll be checking them out.
Perfect. And if there's anything you need me to send you, the ARP office can send up to 25 copies of every document we have on our site. Just contact our office, let us know. So I'm happy to send you all sorts of reading material, Robin.
All right. I'll give you my address when this is over.
Perfect. Great.
All right. Thanks so much, Doug. Now go have coffee.
I will.
That's an inside joke.
Inside joke, yes.
Where it all started. All right. We now have another very special guest. It is Senator Nikki J. Antonio. She's joining us with a special message about what's being done at the state level to help our aging neighbors and friends with disabilities here and across the state, helping them to thrive. Welcome, Senator Antonio.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. This is an amazing program, but then we have an amazing county and services. As Robin said, thanks so much, Robin. I'm State Senator Nikki Antonio. I represent Ohio's 23rd Senate District, which includes Cleveland, Parma, Lakewood, and a lot of other suburbs in Cuyahoga County. I really want to, again, thank Tracy and Meridel for inviting me this morning. Catherine and Bill and the board, you are amazing. And all of the staff and advocates, I want to thank you so much for the incredible work that you do on behalf of some of our most vulnerable people in Cuyahoga County. Protecting older Ohioans, our elders, and those people with disabilities has been a focus throughout my professional career, most recently in my work as co-chair of the Ohio Developmental Disabilities Caucus, which I've been the co-chair for the past 3 years in the legislature. I fought hard also for additional funding to support these groups in our state's operating budget. House Bill 110, which passed earlier this year and included increases from $4.2 million to $5.72 million for the Adult Protective Services line. This line created the ability for Ohio's 88 counties to each provide $65,000 to hire additional adult protective services staff, something that I've advocated for years. We finally got it done last year. We also included an at-home technology pilot program to award grants to providers to use remote technologies to support older adults in their homes or residential-based facilities. And we restored many line items to their pre-COVID funding amounts, including Senior Community Services block grants and the Long-Term Care Ombudsperson. The Long-Term Care Ombudsperson funding increased overall by more than 20%. Ohio is going to see an aging trend in the coming years. By 2030, it's predicted that more than 3.3 of Ohioans will be over the age 60. So it's essential that we get our support systems in line now. Last month, the General Assembly unanimously passed our Senate Bill 58, which is also known as Esther's Law. I was joined in sponsorship by Senator Andrew Brenner. I introduced this legislation for the first time in 2019, and we worked hard but couldn't get it over the finish line until this General Assembly. Everyone deserves to be secure in the comfort of their own homes, especially those living in long-term care facilities who may be away from family for the very first time. The goal of Esther's Law is to mitigate instances of elder abuse and neglect in long-term care facilities by allowing electronic monitoring of residents' room. The bill's named for Esther Piskor. Esther's family was concerned about her quiet moods and unexplained bruising on her body while she was a resident in a nursing home in Northeast Ohio. After her family placed video cameras in her room, they caught horrific footage of her being assaulted by healthcare professionals who were later charged and convicted. Unfortunately, this issue is not unique to Esther or Northeast Ohio. From July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020, county departments of Job and Family Services received more than 32,000 reports of abuse and neglect for adults aged 60 and over in Ohio. The COVID-19 pandemic especially highlighted the need for legislation like this when in-person visits to long-term care facilities were not permitted for months, closing many Ohioans off from their loved ones and support systems. By passing Esther's Law, we can provide families peace of mind by allowing them to check up on their loved ones whenever they may be. And the Departments of Health and Aging to get this policy to allow electronic monitoring right. It wasn't everything we wanted, but it was a great first step. Governor DeWine signed the bill into law on December 22nd, and it will take effect in March. One of the crucial pieces of the puzzle in getting Esther's Law and any piece of legislation across the finish line in both the House and the Senate was the collaboration and great advocacy done by so many groups and individuals who reached out and made their voices heard. They contacted their legislators in writing, called their offices, or came to testify in committee. It's important for advocates to understand that we may not get everything we want in a bill for the first time, but getting a bill across the finish line the way it was written was a tremendous win, which only was made possible by everyone working together. Here's your challenge. Getting involved in the legislative process is something you can do as well to let your lawmakers know about the issues that are important to you. Tell your personal story because you are the expert on your life and what issues matter to you. And your stories can really make a difference when you talk to your legislators. The easiest way to do this is by going online to the General Assembly's website at legislature.ohio.gov. There you can enter your address and find your state senator and your state representative. You can also contact my office at antonio@ohiosenate.gov if you have questions or need assistance in finding this information. My staff are more than happy to help you. Thank you again for allowing me to speak to you today. Know that you have my wholehearted support as we work together to make sure that every Ohioan, no matter their age or ability, is able to live their best life. I wish you all a safe and healthy new year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Antonio, for underscoring the importance of caring for our more experienced residents and those with disabilities, and the need for continued support at the state and national level as we all age. Thank you for encouraging us to get involved, and for Esther's Law. My goodness, how tragic is it that people are forced into these situations? But thank goodness for Esther's Law.
Well, thank you so much. And Robin, I want to thank you for your advocacy over the years. You've been a champion, and it makes a difference when you use your platform for good. So thank you for that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Kathy Rush started us off with how, she has there's so much focus on children. And of course, we all love children. We've been children. We have grandchildren. And now to focus on our seniors and what a rich resource they are. And it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to be involved in something that gives them dignity and respect.
Yes, absolutely.
You, Sir Antonio, for all you do for our seniors. All right. We have heard from so many interesting people today and learned what they are doing to support us as we age. But the question is, what is the real impact of all of this work? The impact can truly be realized when we hear from those who are being served. Our closing video today shares the perspectives of several clients who are thriving thanks to the many programs offered through DSAS, and their comments are very inspiring. Let's hear from them now.
It's family, and it will always feel like family. No one's expecting anything from you. You show up, you get welcome here. People try to make you feel at home here, and they actually miss you when they don't see you. They call or check on you. So it's a wonderful place to spend time, and I'm sure that there's a lot of seniors that would be sitting somewhere at home, isolated, if it weren't for the Fatima Family Center.
She's my helper. She helps clean the house. If she didn't do it, boy, you'd be sitting in trash up to here. But she's really, really nice, and she does the wash. And she also takes time to sit and talk to me, which is kind of nice because I'm kind of alone. And having her come once a week is just, I look forward to it.
Adult Protective Agency really impressed me with their dedication, their support, their expediency, and their care.
I most enjoy about Fatima Family Health Center is that coming together with a group of people, that some that I didn't know before I came here, and a lot that I knew before I came here. But I enjoy gathering together with them, having some place to go other than, at home sitting around. But I prefer coming here because they take good care of us. Yeah.
I definitely do think they're important because there are a lot of older people who need more help than I do. And I'm kind of thinking one day I'm going to be needing more help. and they're there to provide the services. And if we didn't have it, things would be going wrong and we'd be a mess.
I had lost my job like a lot of people did during COVID, and this rate provided us with gift cards for days and food boxes and a lot of things that kind of took the stress out of worrying about how am I going to feed my family, how am I going to be able to, do the things that I need to do, so it was a true blessing to have family here, not only for, as I say, the social aspect, but along with that, she made sure that we didn't go hungry or we didn't have someone to talk to.
I was told that she was a part of Adult Protective Agency. I immediately reached out to her and asked her for help because there was a neglect situation going on with my dad. From there, she was my number one guide. She was with me from the beginning until the end.
Yes, I don't know how many ways we could say thank you to them. They're just a great staff here. It's just great still. I just can't say anything more than that. It's really great just coming together with them.
Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate it, and from the bottom of my heart, I don't know what I would do without them.
Everyone that played a part in my dad's life and myself in my dad's life, I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You have been awesome. Even now, even as things have finished, you're yet there, supporting and checking on us. We want to say thank you so much, and we will always recommend you to anyone else that comes through my path and needs that support or that advocacy. I will be recommending you to them.
Oh, so touching to hear from Donald, Ernestine, and Angela about their experiences and how they are thriving thanks to the work of DSAS and your community partners. DSAS really is helping elders and those with disabilities in our community move from surviving to thriving. Talk to us, Tracy, more about what we can do to help our older friends and neighbors.
First of all, I want to say I just love the video. It's always my favorite part when we have these type of opportunities to share their stories. And so the community can hear from them firsthand. But ways to get involved in DSAS, we have an advisory board that we welcome anyone who might be interested. We ask that you get involved with our Senior Services Network. It is a network of individuals who are sharing best practices and establishing collaborative relationships. We also have our Adult Protective Services Collaborative, which is another opportunity to get involved. We have our website listed, an email address, as well as a telephone number if you would like to just simply give us a call. We would love to have you involved with us. But before I turn it back over to you, Robin, I just want to thank a few individuals. I definitely want to send a shout out and special acknowledgement to our entire advisory board members for their leadership and support throughout the year. I want to say a huge thank you to Doug Tagg, who is our board member and our keynote speaker for today. We really look forward to working with him as well as AARP to make Cuyahoga County age-friendly. Congratulations to Catherine Rush, our board chair, for her leadership and her vision to establish and create the Division of Senior and Adult Services. We love you. We will miss you. And again, congratulations on being selected as our first honorary board member. Also, I would like to thank our staff, Kathy Sizemore and Mary Jo Couture, for really doing the heavy lifting and planning today's event. I know they work with a committee of other members, and I want to thank everyone for planning and organizing such a successful event. Thank you to Western Reserve for being our sponsor. Thank you for your support. Also, I want to thank our County Executive Armin Budish, as well as Senator Nikki Antonio, for just being with us today and supporting the needs of older adults, as well as adults with disabilities. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you who tuned in today to hear about DSAS's accomplishments and priorities. I look forward to our continued partnership. Together we thrive in 2022. Thank you for being here today.
All right. Thank you very much, Tracy. I think we will all leave today's meeting with a renewed understanding of the resources available and the ways we can ensure our older friends and neighbors with disabilities not only survive, but thrive, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And Tracy, thank you for all that you do. So you're a remarkable woman, and you have a heart for people, and it shows. And just thank you for that. So that will conclude the 2021 virtual Cuyahoga County Senior and Adult Services Board meeting. We thank you for being with us today. The advisory board and DSAS leaders hope you have gained a greater understanding of the work they do and how the services they provide help so many in our community to thrive. We would also like to thank our presenters for sharing their expertise and passion with us. And please leave your comments in the chat box and we will follow up with you. And keep an eye on your inbox for DSAS's 2021 annual report and follow-up materials from today's meeting. And one more thank you needs to go out to Millie, who did not bark. She did not bark during the whole show. So I'm very pleased about that. With Millie in my dining room, I'm Robin Swoboda, and I thank you for taking time to be with us. Make it a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.